Hi, I'm Nicole DiDonato, and today I'm going to be talking to Camryn Harlick, who is the VP of Equity for the Ryerson Students Union. So first, can you tell me why you wanted to get involved with the RSU, specifically as the VP of Equity?
Before running last year, I worked downstairs for the equity service centers. And the equity service centers are all partially supervised and kind of seek direction from the VP Equity. I felt that there was more potential to the role that wasn't being met. So I never really wanted to get involved in student politics. It was more so I was so frustrated at what was happening that I was like, I'll just do it myself.
Through this role, how do you hope to create a more accepting and inclusive environment at Ryerson?
Main issues that I want to focus on is accessibility, indigeneity, and anti-Black racism, trans inclusivity, and queer inclusivity. So not just a portion of our students feel represented, but everyone feels like they have a space here where they can get the support services they need.
I understand that the RSU is making steps towards implementing trans-only gym programming at Ryerson's workout facilities. So can you explain a bit about what the thought process was behind this?
So it all stemmed from the conversation when we were talking about women's only gym hours, which is a program that the RSU started and really lobbied around a couple of years back. And when we're looking at the concept of women's only gym hours, it was for two aspects. It was to prevent sexual violence and sexual harassment in workout facilities, and it was for religious accommodation of folks who maybe can't be uncovered around men. And having this conversation, we were talking about making it women's and trans only gym time. But I don't necessarily think that's a solution, because for myself as a trans masculine two-spirited person, for me to go into a women's only hours could still have that religious accommodation piece not being met, right? So I had the idea of running a pilot program of doing trans-only recreation times that would be more exclusive to not gym hours, but it would be things like trans-only swim times, trans-only CrossFit or Zumba classes, or different activities for trans folks to partake in that would be a closed space and that would be led by trans individuals.
So this was the first year that students were not required to identify their gender on the residence application. So I was wondering, what is your opinion on this?
It was low-key my idea and the Trans Collective's idea last year. We had a meeting with Housing and Residence Life because they were wondering what they could do to make housing more trans-inclusive. And we talked about how that mandatory disclosure kind of reinforces the idea that someone's gender identity is the most important thing about them, which isn't the case, right? And why are we asking students to disclose this when they may not even know what their gender is? It was tricky for me when I was applying because I wasn't necessarily out or 100% confident about what my gender identity was at the time I was applying. So I think it would have caused me less gender dysphoria in the process of applying because I wouldn't have had to kind of go through that internal dialogue of like, what if this changes? Which it's fluid, right? So it very well could, and it did.
Since taking on the role of VP Equity for the RSU, Camryn Harlick has made steps towards creating a more inclusive environment on campus for people of the LGBTQ+ community. For Ryerson News, I'm Nicole DiDonato.